When Floyd Shivambu walked away from the MKParty, he did so with his chest pushed out and his head held high. Cameras caught the moment, the stride of a man ready for a new chapter in his political life. Yet behind the bold posture was a quiet calculation. Floyd was not entirely sure how far his next venture would take him. That is why, even as he prepared to build something new, he kept one foot in the MKParty. His MK membership remained intact, his plan B in case his grand experiment failed. It was a careful strategy, but politics is not kind to half measures. The weeks that followed would see Floyd rise on one side of the political battlefield and Jacob Zuma, the MKParty's figurehead, retaliate in the only way he knew how, by cutting Floyd off completely. Floyd's departure from the MKParty wasn't a hasty walkout, it was a calculated move. He projected confidence, but his caution was evident in his refusal to sever ties completely. Founding a new party in South Africa's crowded political space is risky. Voters are loyal to familiar faces, and party structures take years to build. By keeping his MKParty membership, Floyd was hedging his bets. If Mayibuye failed to take root, he could always return to the MK fold, or at least claim the moral right to still be part of its legacy. It was a political insurance policy, one he hoped never to cash in. Starting a political party from scratch is no small feat at first. Mayibuye was little more than an idea with a name. But slowly, momentum began to build. In recent weeks, that momentum has turned into genuine political traction. Former MKParty members, many frustrated with the infighting, lack of clear direction, and internal power struggles, began to join Mayibuye. Each defection was a symbolic blow to MK's credibility and a boost to Floyd's political stature. Floyd's skill lay in his ability to present Mayibuye not just as another splinter group, but as a fresh alternative. He positioned it as a movement that could reclaim the revolutionary spirit that some felt MK had lost. Public rallies, community engagements, and a growing social media presence gave Mayibuye an identity that resonated beyond party loyalists. The plan B was beginning to look like the real plan all along. While Mayibuye's star was rising, the MKParty was showing signs of strain. The party had entered the political arena with the energy of a populist wave, but waves can lose momentum. Reports of factionalism were becoming harder to ignore. Some branches were openly unhappy with how decisions were being made, and the leadership's focus seemed split between governing ambitions and internal score settling. Grassroots supporters, once fired up, began to question whether the MKParty could deliver on its promises. The defections to Mayibuye weren't just a matter of numbers, they were a public relations disaster. The optics of seasoned members jumping ship for Floyd's party painted MK as a sinking vessel. The slow erosion of trust was visible. And as much as Zuma still commanded loyalty from a large base, the cracks in the party's foundation were widening. For Jacob Zuma, this was more than a political inconvenience, it was personal. Floyd had been part of the MK family, and now he was not only leading a rival party but actively drawing away MK's members. In Zuma's world, loyalty is currency, and disloyalty is an unforgivable offense. Revoking Floyd's MK membership was not merely a bureaucratic action. It was a public statement. By stripping Floyd of his Plan B, Zuma was both punishing him and sending a warning to anyone else considering defection. The message was clear: if you walk away from MK, you don't get to keep one foot in the door. From Zuma's perspective, this was the only real weapon he had left against Floyd. Mayibuye was gaining ground, and MK's slow unraveling was already underway. Removing Floyd's official link to MK was a way to reassert authority, to remind everyone that Zuma still held the keys to the party. The membership revocation created ripples that may have worked against Zuma's intentions. For Floyd's supporters, it was proof that he was now fully independent, no lingering ties, no fallback plans. This reinforced the narrative that Mayibuye was a bold, uncompromising project. Some within MK saw the move as heavy-handed, even vindictive. Instead of stopping defections, it risked accelerating them. The act of expelling Floyd gave him the moral high ground in the eyes of some voters, turning him into the political underdog facing a vengeful giant. For Zuma, the calculation may have been that fear of expulsion would keep others in line. But for those already disillusioned with MK's direction, it simply confirmed their doubts. In politics, punishments can sometimes look like proof that the punished was right all along. When Floyd first left MK, he kept his membership as a safety net, a quiet admission that Mayibuye might not succeed. But by the time Zuma revoked that membership, Mayibuye was no longer an uncertain experiment. It was a growing force, and Floyd was at its center. The irony is sharp: the safety net was cut just as Floyd was learning to walk the tightrope without it. The revocation, intended to weaken him, may have given him exactly what he needed, the perception of complete independence and the legitimacy of being targeted by the establishment. Floyd Shivambu's journey from cautious MK departure to Mayibuye's rising leader is a study in political risk-taking. His initial hedge, keeping MK membership as Plan B, was a mark of strategic caution. But the political winds shifted quickly. As Mayibuye gained strength and MK faltered, Jacob Zuma struck back in the only way he could, stripping Floyd of the one connection he had left to MK. Yet in doing so, Zuma may have unintentionally freed Floyd to claim his new identity without reservation. In politics, bridges are sometimes burned by design, but other times they're torched for you, and the smoke